Krish.
And what do you do for a living?
Currently, I'm interning in a consulting firm.
What kind of consulting are you doing?
So it's like general strategy consulting. No niche, no particular like areas.
What are you studying?
I study business at U of T. I'm going to my 4th year, hoping to work full time in consulting as well after.
And how much are you making right now as an intern?
Annualized a bit above 100K. It's only for 10 weeks, so I'm only getting paid for those 10 weeks. In terms of like how they pay, it's like annualized, and then they pay a portion of that.
Is this your first internship?
In my first summer, I interned at a boutique investment bank, but I guess this is my first internship at a pretty big company.
What would you say you like the most about consulting as opposed to your past internships?
I feel it's very dynamic, similar to like startup vibes. It's like you're doing something different every day. You learn so much, you learn about so many different industries, and you work with different clients.
Maya.
What do you do for a living, Maya?
I am an ESL teacher.
What's a day in the life look like doing that?
I actually just came from work. We were walking them around Harborfront Center, did a scavenger hunt. I just pointed out, this is an apple, this is red, this is blue.
Sounds like a good day.
It was a really good day.
How long have you been doing this?
Maybe for about a year.
And how much do you make?
$30 an hour.
How did you get into this?
Indeed. When I saw this job posting on Indeed, I'm like, the money looks good, and then I got the job.
Did you need like any qualifications, studying?
So I'm actually in teacher's college. So I study and I work while I'm studying.
So you were kind of in this. It wasn't like you could just hop into
no
it.
one can just randomly get the job. But I mean, Indeed helps.
What's your favorite thing about what you do?
I love to teach. I love working with kids, and it's very fun. So the job is not like a sitting at desk boring. It's very entertaining.
Zaki,
What do you do for a living?
professional athlete at the same time personal trainer here.
And what's a day in the life look like as a professional athlete and a personal trainer?
If you're an MMA fighter, a professional athlete, you have to work at the same time. You have to have your own business.
And how much do you make doing what you're doing?
Like $1,000 for one single fight, which it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But once you get a higher level, like in UFC, like on title shot, they will pay you like thousands of dollars, like maybe $20,000 or $40,000. I don't have source of income right now because 60 days, I have to work
Yeah,
on
you
my
just
travel
got
lessons. Yeah, I just got. I have to work on my travel lessons, my lessons, certain things, and to get more settled.
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna target on to have a good income.
And why did you choose to do fighting? What is it that drove you to get into this sport?
Well, I've been an athlete for 20 years. Back in home, I used to do jiu-jitsu. I used to do a lot when I was in school, a little kid. I used to do a lot of martial arts.
You can call me Niche.
And what do you do for a living?
I used to be a dentist. I no longer practice because we started Luna PR.
What made you make the transition from being a dentist to starting a PR agency?
Mainly my sister. I'd been working with her for a while and we ventured into the crypto space. And then COVID hit and dentists weren't allowed to practice anymore because we were considered super spreaders. I didn't have the luxury of sitting around without a job and we decided to scale up.
How long have you been doing Luna?
I've been involved since April 2020, so over 3 years now.
And how much do you make?
Well, typically the average marketeer makes around $5,000. It fluctuates, it's around there.
And what's your favorite thing about doing what you're doing now?
Crypto. Honestly, I love the space so much. I love how weird it is. I love how random it is. I love that you meet like the most interesting people.
Jeevan Gill.
And what do you do for a living?
I'm a stand-up comedian.
And what's a day in the life look like doing that?
I still work a day job, work during the day, and then at night I'm all around the city.
What's your day job?
I work in an office.
How did you get into comedy?
10 years ago, something like that, I just said, I want to do this. And I bought a little notepad, I wrote some stuff down, and then I went to my local comedy club on the open mic night, and here we are.
How much do you make off comedy and your day job, and like what's the split on that?
I don't make much doing comedy. $70 a set, sometimes $100 a set. Most of the time I'm doing it for like $20 a set.
And something I've always wondered is like, how do you come up with your material? What's your writing process?
Oh, I wish I had something cool to say for this. Really, I just stand in the shower and I think about things, and if something makes me go, I just write it down, and that's it.
And is comedy something you're trying to do full time?
Yeah, definitely. I really want to do it full time.
I'm Samara.
And what do you do for a living?
I'm a cook.
How did you get into this? What made you decide to become a cook?
Actually, I had a friend who worked the restaurant. I'm working now.
How many years of experience do you have?
I don't have a year. I have 2 months.
Oh, so you just started?
Yeah, I just arrived in Canada.
And how much do you make as a cook?
$18 per hour.
What would you say your favorite thing about it so far is?
I like my job. I think I want to explore Canada, all Canada, not just Toronto.
I'm Luis.
And what do you do for a living?
I'm a firefighter in Hong Kong.
And what's a day in the life look like as a firefighter in Hong Kong?
We work like 8 days a month, so every day we work like 24 hours 8 shift.
So you work 8 days a month, but you work 24 hours every time.
Yeah, 24 hours a day. We have 48 hours off day.
How many years of experience do you have as a firefighter?
Like 3 years experience.
How much do you make, would you say, in Canadian dollars?
5,000 Canadian dollar a month.
And what would you say your favorite thing about what you do is?
This job gives me more time to do the things I like to do, like going to the gym. Is also very meaningful because I can help people.
What advice would you give to someone that wants to be a firefighter?
You need to train hard. Firefighter is maybe a hard job for new guy because I'm a new guy too before. You just need more experience.
Shane.
What do you do for a living?
I'm an audio engineer. Been doing audio engineer for the past 8 years and it's going really well.
How'd you get into being an audio engineer?
Initially, I started playing instruments, and a couple years ago, I decided I was going to go to school for it. When I got in school, really fell in love. Once I graduated, decided to start interning, and then from there, I just kind of jumped in that industry.
And what kind of music do you work with?
So right now, I work on hip hop, R&B, and Afro beats, and that's pretty much it for now. Like, there's times when I dabble, but those are like my main genres.
How much do you make doing this?
Yearly, I would say maybe like 60 to 70K. It kind of depends. Let's say if like I have a lot of clients coming in, my prices range from like 200 to 250 an hour.
So it varies.
It varies, yeah.
What's your favorite thing about what you do?
I get to make music. I love making music. It's something I've been doing pretty much my whole life. Started out with my Dukes, teaching me how to play instruments, and then wanting to be able to capture that and just kind of show that to the world, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
And what do you do for a living?
I'm a data scientist at Loblaws.
And how did you get into being a data scientist?
So basically, like, I always quite interested in numbers. Studied over here, like, the masters from University of Toronto itself. I worked as a machine learning engineer, then worked in Scotia, and then I shifted to Loblaws.
What's a day in the life look like as a data scientist?
I do produce certain reports. We, like, kind of put them into bucket and then try to understand that, like, which customers we should reach out to, how much money which if we bring this people are going to make or something for us.
And what's the difference between a data engineer and a data scientist?
Understand like a pipeline structure, right? Like some people have to bring the data in and they have to give it to me and then I can produce some insights out of that, right? So the people who are bringing the data are data engineers, people who are processing the data are data scientists.
And what's your favorite thing about what you do?
So basically, like, the impact which I'm creating, right? Like, okay, like, if I'm adding some value, right? I bring X amount of money directly. I can see it right away, right? Like, okay, this project, like, made X million dollars in projected profits. So it just gives you a sense of responsibility and sense of achievement, right? That, okay, like, I'm bringing more value.
Salim.
And what do you do for a living?
I'm a construction surveyor and a real estate agent.
What does a day in the life look like being a construction surveyor and also doing real estate?
Monday through Friday or Saturday is construction, so I show up and I do like drawing review, markings on the floor, and then some labor and some carpentry, but not a lot of that. Real estate agent. Whenever I have time, I'll like promote my business.
What path did you take to being a surveyor and real estate agent?
So I actually have a business degree, graduated and worked in tech for a couple years. My dad always did construction, so I worked with him. Real estate I wanted to do because I think I know a good amount about like houses and apartments, and I don't know, I thought I could do good at it. So.
I mean, it fits in.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
How much do you make doing both of these things?
Construction surveying, like 80 to 90 grand a year with like a 40 to 50 hour work week. And then real estate, honestly, I just started my license. So maybe this year, 10 to 20.
What's your favorite thing about both of these things?
The construction side, being outside. Real estate is working with people and helping them find their home.
Last question is, what advice would you give to someone that wants to get into this field?
Construction, just show up and work hard and be eager and be friendly. And then real estate, I think just like be knowledgeable and be personable and don't sell, like just help people.
Anthony.
And what do you do for a living?
I'm an entrepreneur. I run an accounting practice that does fractional CFO services for businesses and a marketing agency.
How did you get into doing this?
Passion and just going where my strengths were.
How did you get these businesses off the ground? Like, what did you do when you first started?
I personally had a problem that I tried to solve for myself and then recognized that other people needed it solved as well to progress into a company.
And what's a day in the life look like as an entrepreneur with multiple companies?
I work with my direct reports, making sure that the company always has cash and is always running, hiring new people, working with strategic partners, investors, working with our clients.
How did you get down this route? Like, did you study?
I didn't go to school for anything that I do right now, like accounting or like marketing, but I just took entry-level jobs and kept learning along the way.
And how much do you make?
And that's a difficult question for any entrepreneur to answer because entrepreneurs have variable income. For me, I make $94,000 a year as a salary, but then as an entrepreneur, you get little benefits like, you know, free telecommunication, dinners, $200 a week, car stuff like your insurance or gas paid for. By the way, CRA, like if you're listening, this is all legal. Of course, if your business profits, you make a lot more money so that now you could look into like the $200,000 plus range. And if your business doesn't do too well, you're probably making around 100 to 150K a year.
I like how you broke that down in terms of like exactly how it is, because you're right, it fluctuates with entrepreneurs and like you can't just say a set number.
Because a lot of entrepreneurs, they either say like $1 million a year because that's how much revenue they do, or they'll give you their best number, like, oh, I make 500K a year, but on a bad year I make 100K, and on a good year it's 200K plus.
What advice would you give to someone that wants to become an entrepreneur and start their own company?
It's not for the faint of heart. Obviously, my hairline shows that. It's very stressful. You have to like the ups and downs. If you can structure your work-life balance to be something where it's like when you're at work, it doesn't feel like you're at work, then it'll get you through the difficult times.